Welcome back. The Defense Department's Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification Program has its first third-party assessor. Redspin will be the first company other companies can use to verify their compliance with CMMC standards. Bob Bigman's founder of 2B Secure. He's former Chief Information Security Officer at the Central Intelligence Agency. Bob, welcome. It's great to see you. What do you take away from the naming of the first third-party assessor for CMMC?
First step on a long path, it's a great step. I'm glad they did it, but boy, I tell you, I think I read there's 300,000 contractors to do in this program. Not all of them are working at level risk at 3, 4, and 5, but still, yeah, this is going to take a long time to do. I think they might want to think of different ways to see how they can ensure compliance.
The first step on a long journey, yes. How long of a journey? At what point does the cohort of 3 PAOs look big enough to you to be able to get to everybody?
Yeah, again, we haven't seen anyone actually do these audits yet, and especially in the higher level ones, 3, 4, and 5, it's going to take obviously more time, and you need more tools. So the true answer is we don't yet know how long one's going to take until you actually do one or do 2 or 3. But I'll be honest with you. I've done hundreds of cybersecurity audits. They actually take a long time. And if you look at what's required at the higher levels, it's a lot of detailed analytics that need to be done and a lot of actual testing needs to be performed. This is a 10 to 15 year endeavor.
10 to 15 years to get the entire industrial base under the scope of this. Is that what you mean?
That's what I think. Yeah.
And just because of the nature of the volume of the defense industrial base, just because of the amount of work that each organization will have to do, or all of the above, or something else?
Yeah, all of the above. Mostly, it's again 300,000 contractors, right? Who need to be assessed at some level independently. Just that alone, even if you were doing it at the lower levels, it's probably 5 years to do. But even now, considering at the higher levels where you have much more detailed and precise standards of measurement for security, I think it's going to take a lot longer. Now, we also have to figure out, how many vendors, how many contractors are going to have to do this work. Hopefully, the more you have, obviously, the less time it will take. But I can't see that, that within the next couple of years, you're going to need to at least have, 25 to 50 companies under contract. I don't see that happening that quickly.
The former eGov administrator, Karen Evans, was on the program last week talking about FISMA and the frustration that exists with FISMA as basically a box-checking exercise where someone is not necessarily sure after their FISMA compliance is complete that they're more secure than they were when it started. What would you like to see the CMMC board do to make sure that this doesn't become a compliance exercise, that this becomes an actual ascertainment of cybersecurity achievement or not?
Yeah, great question. So, and you've heard me say this before, there are a number of things we know work in stopping hacking, right? Or make it much more difficult. There are some strong security measures that beyond just hygiene, strong protection measures for endpoints, standards for hardening systems, cryptography standards. There's some very good things that we know to do. What I would really like to see is these standards, and even the FISMA standard, evolve to a point where we focus on those things that make the job of penetration of government systems much more difficult. And the second thing I'd like to see them do is do like they do in some other countries, where they actually automate the compliance test. And the government or government contractors who are awarded this, actually have tools to not just go in and do it once, but go and be able to do multiple iterative assessments of these contractors to determine whether or not their GPO settings are set right in their Windows environment. They've got hardware security configured properly. That they're doing the right things on an ongoing basis.
You said the word evolve as far as these standards, and then explained a little bit the answer to the question that I'm about to ask, so you can expound on it a little bit more, Bob. And that is, if these standards evolve and my company's good today, how do I know I'm still good a year from now or 2 years from now? And more importantly, how does the department know that I'm good a year from now or 2 years from now?
Yeah, and that's the problem, right? You know, we've had various attempts, continuous management, continuous metrics, continuous defense, in an attempt to basically resolve this issue. This is one of the big tests in cybersecurity, is how do I ensure the integrity and validity of my controls on an ongoing basis. We don't do it well. What I think works best is, and it's not a perfect answer, but frankly, is automated compliance of standards. And we're getting towards that. The good news is we're getting towards that with some of the tools available in cloud and containerized based security capabilities. But the only way we're going to ensure this is to basically use automation, in this case, in support of security, and allow us to have the ability to, as I said, iteratively and using systems completely consistently test all these settings across all these different contractors, and to find those who basically are out of compliance and pose the highest risk. That's frankly the only way I can see this actually working.
Bob Bigman, thanks very much as always, my friend. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.